Hey, you bit Steve from the old Yorkshire Geek, and it's time to review episode 4 of season 1 of Ahsoka. Star Wars Ahsoka. I keep forgetting the Star Wars bit. We all know it's Star Wars. It's there. I'm there. So, this is episode 4. It's called Fallen Jedi, and it's a pretty good episode. Perhaps the best episode so far, I think. Maybe. Perhaps. Better than last week's, anyway, in my opinion. So let's just get on with it, shall we? That's it. I did enjoy it. It was pretty good. Right, so let's get the episode up. And we'll go through it. And I'll give you my thoughts. Right, so we start off with the old Lucasfilm logo. I've skipped the previously on Star Wars Ahsoka. It's a pity they don't say that, isn't it? You know, they used to on Star Trek. Used to go previously on Star Trek The Next Generation. And then they play the recap. And then they go, and now the conclusion. Or continuation, whatever. There's Marok. Is it Marok? I can never remember his name. But we learned something about him in this episode. Or they, them. Actually, can you see eyes there? There's eyes there, isn't there? That's interesting. Are they supposed to be there? Can you see them eyes there? Look, I can see them. I'm going to... just bear with me. I'm just doing a screen grab. What is it? Print screen. There we go. Right. Got a screen grab of that. I'll wonder about that later. That definitely looks like eyes to me. Which is odd from what we find out about this character later. Anyway, right. So we'll carry on. Right, Star Wars, there we go. Have you noticed I've changed my frame to match the Star Wars colour? Ish. Right, so remember they're on the planet Cetos, which is in the Daneb, whatever. It's in the star system. It took, this is a Jedi ship, well, I don't know what it is. I've heard people call it a Jedi starfighter, but it's not. It's not a starfighter. It's too big in it to be a starfighter. It's like a bomber, I suppose you could call it. It's a big ship, a biggish ship. I don't know, has it got a name? I have no idea. Does it have a name? Is it the Mouldy Crow, for instance? No, it's not. Anyway, so they're on the planet Cetos, which is where Morgan Elsbeth and Balen Skoll and all them lot are building the big hyperspace ring thing, the big Stargate. I know it's not. I thought a ship was going to come and that we're going to dock with it and then go to this other gate. That doesn't happen. Maybe it'll be the other way around. We'll see. I don't know. We'll get to that. Anyway, remember, so they were forced down onto the planet and they've landed in these trees. Luckily, not but walking distance from the henge. Remember the henge? Like Stonehenge thing that were built by aliens from another galaxy. Luckily, they landed not far from that. The whole planet to choose from, they just landed there. But anyway, never mind. maybe that was deliberate. Anyway, this is Huyang. Remember, voiced by David Tennant, who does a really good job. Is repairing the ship. It looks like he's just fixing that seat, but I think he's supposed to be under a console fixing things. And he asks Sabine to check the comms. So she checks. She says, "Home 1. This is Fulcrum." Maybe that's the name of the ship. I know that's the code word that Ahsoka used in Rebels and that, didn't she? Maybe the ship's called that as well. I don't know. She says, "Home 1. This is Fulcrum. Do you copy?" And then she says, "Hera, do you copy?" And I thought, well, she's not talking to Hera. You know, Hera won't be sitting next to the communications array on the Home 1 ship, will she? Whatever. There you go, Hera, do you copy? But they can't get through, so Yang carries on his repairs. Ahsoka's outside. Just standing about, not really doing anything. There we go. That's where we find out that their ground base isn't far. Ground base? Well, just said their base isn't far. Whatever. Luckily, so they decide they're going to go and investigate that. So Sabine's going to go get changed into her Mandalorian clobber, which is cool. And Ahsoka starts off again. I say I'm not really enjoying Rosario Dawson's portrayal of Ahsoka, but she does soften a little bit in this episode. We see a little bit of emotions emerging. She smiles a bit, and I've said before that Ahsoka, a very empathetic character. She's very full of empathy for other life forms and droids, I suppose. But so far this she hasn't been, but that kind of does break a little bit, which puts it up a notch or two for me. But she's still not perfect. Anyway, so she's still being all enigmatic Jedi here, and then she says to Sabine, "Can I count on you?" I thought, what's she asking her that for? And Sabine says, "Well, yeah, of course you can." She's not going to say no, is she? Anyway, and there's the line. They're talking about they can't allow Morgan Elsbeth and Baylan Skoll to go and get Thrawn from this other galaxy and bring him back, even if it means not being able to find Ezra, because that's in the back of their minds that they could also find Ezra. But there she uses better than allowing Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire, and that's a Leonardo DiCaprio meme, innit? Anyway, so she sighs. So she goes and gets ready. Hayang comes out to do some tinkering outside the ship. Ahsoka goes back in, and then we cut to they're being watched from the woods. Ahsoka's not been a very good Jedi here, is she? Doesn't she sense these enemies approaching? By the way, at the end of the previous episode, Baylan Skoll sent out his soldiers to find them. But, why didn't Ahsoka sense them? I don't know. Maybe she's not that strong with the Force. Right, back at the henge. They're working out the hyperspace coordinates using the map. Although they are going to be doing that soon. Baylan sends Marek and Shin Hati, along with lots of guards, soldiers, whatever they are. There's some droids and there's to be some droids and some regular people, whatever. There's that word again. They're using clicks again. I don't know why they keep using clicks, but never mind. So he sends them out to deal with them. Basically delay them. I think Morgan Elsbeth says, the soldiers won't delay them long, so he sends them too as well. Sends Marek and Shin. They'll delay them longer. So then we cut to. By the way, Morgan says she senses fear in Baylan Skoll, but he says no, it's not fear. Go on, say it. Not fear in your voice. He says it's not fear. I've actually forgot what he says. That's why I'm skipping on. I forgot the exact word he uses. There we go. Experience. I was going to say something else, but I couldn't remember. So he knows that he's got to deal with a Jedi at some point. Right. So off we go. We got the opening, the Ahsoka part then, and the title, Fallen Jedi. Right. Hayang's fixing the ship, and he gets the power back up. Sabine's getting all her Mandalorian gear ready, and she loses something. I think it's Ezra's little hologram thing. She can't find it. Ahsoka finds it for her and gives her it. So they have a little tete-a-tete there. There we go. More seriousness and a lot of one word. Are you okay? Yep. Cool. Fair enough. That sort of thing. Stilted dialogue. And yeah, there, Hayang's fixed it. All the lights come on in the ship, and then does he sense something? I think he hears something. And then suddenly a HK droid appears, so they start fighting. Remember, Hayang used to train younglings and stuff, so he can handle himself against this HK. Help, muffle. How can you muffle a droid? It doesn't. Oh dear. Obviously that's just its speaker then, yeah, so it's muffling its speaker into. They're not sensing anything. Well, Ahsoka doesn't seem to be sensing anything. The lights go back out again, and that's when Ahsoka realises something's up. Why don't she sense there's evil afoot? Anyway, so they go out, and there we go. Cool bit of action. Pew! There we go. Being a Mandalorian. So they take out the HK. Hyang's fine. But he sees, damage has been done again. So he says that'll set him back a bit. So they decide they're going to go to the ground base and deal with Balin's Skull and all that. Deal with these bad guys. I don't know if they know who they're dealing with just yet. By name, I don't think they do. I could be wrong. And Hyang says, "Go together." He says, "You always work better that way." He says, "Yeah, well, yeah, okay," but essentially they don't. They end up separating, obviously. So off they go. Right, we're back on home one now. By the way, a cool shot of there we go, of the Republic fleet. Very Return of the Jedi, isn't it? That's what it reminded me of with home one there, and lots of Republic ships with a lot of the new Republic cruisers, and obviously a blockade runner or two. Is that a medical frigate? Could be. And what's that one? Oh, that's one of them, isn't it? I thought it was a Romulan ship then, but it's the back end of one of these new Republic cruisers. A waffling. Right. So Hera's decided she remember in the previous episode she couldn't get permission from the Republic Council to send help, to send a fleet to help to deal with this hyperspace ring that Morgan Elsbeth's building at Cetos. And they wouldn't let her, so she's going to go by herself. The answer is no, so I'm therefore going anyway. So there we go, she's heading for the Ghost. It's nice to see the Ghost, the ship from Rebels. So she's heading there. She's taking her son with her. She's taking Jason Syndulla and Chopper. Don't know why she's taking her son with her. She's potentially going into battle. Why don't you just leave him on home one, safe, with a babysitter? But nope, she's taking him. Right, so off they go, and they set off. Here it goes, and they're not going alone, as we see. They've got a squadron of X-Wings with them, and there's Carson, what's his face? Don't ask me his name, his full name. He's with them. So off they go into hyperspace. Right, let's go back a bit more, because there's a bit here that I don't. Are we going to see it? There we go. They've brought the hyperspace ring down into the atmosphere for some reason. I don't know why. It's just there hovering in the clouds. That's a very J.J. Abrams thing. He didn't like having his ships in space, but they brought it down into the atmosphere for some reason. They're about to start calculating the hyperspace coordinates. So maybe it needs to be close to the henge. She activates the thing. We'll see in a minute. So maybe it's got to be close for that to happen. So anyway, so here we go. She's going to start doing all that. Using her. Remember, she's a Night Sister. She doesn't look anything like the Night Sisters we saw in Clone Wars, does she? But whatever. Turns out she's a Night Sister. So she's using the map, the ball thing that's the map, to show where the other galaxy is. There we go. That's the like a planetarium, isn't it, around them? That's up on the ring ship, I suppose we'll call it. Has it got a name? I've heard people call it the Eye of Scion or Scion or whatever. Is that his actual name? I don't know. That just reminded me of Tomb Raider for some reason. Anyway. So this robot's droid, is saying they're starting to calculate the hyperspace coordinates. It takes them quite a while because it's obviously a big jump. A big hyperspace jump. So they're running through the forest. And they come across Shin Hati and Marek. So obviously a fight ensues, and it's a pretty cool fight. There we go. She starts firing with her blasters and to Shin Hati. So Shin Hati and Sabine are going to fight, and Marek and Ahsoka are going to fight. There they go. So it's pretty, cool fighting going on. And Sabine ends up using Ezra's lightsaber. But there we're seeing the continuing with the calculating the hyperspace coordinates. There we go. There we see that's as they calculate, a portion of it, they turn yellow. They've got to go all the way around. So a countdown basically. Right, the fight in Sue continues. There we go. She's using Ezra's lightsaber. She's holding her own against Shin Hati, but Shin Hati uses the Force to push her and stuff. And reminiscent a little bit of when Obi-Wan took out Maul on Tatooine, remember in Rebels? Kind of reminiscent of that, where Ahsoka takes out Marek with one swift stroke of her lightsaber, and we see him fall. But then we see something weird happen. You can see all smoke coming out of the wound, or the slash. And then we see she sees that Marek's been got, so she's shocked. Right, here we go. And then all smoke comes out of the this exploding hiss and a scream. So what was Marek? People were saying it was Ezra. I think I suggested it as well, that it were going to be Ezra. Some people were saying it were going to be I forgot his name, Starkiller from Force Unleashed games. Sam Witwer. Sorry, I bit my tongue the other day and it still hurts. It turns out no, it's some sort of I don't know, smoke monster or something. It's been suggested that it's Dark Sister or Night Sister magic. I think it was heavy spoilers on their review. Said we saw a similar thing when Maul and Savage Press fought. We saw smoke, green smoke coming out of Savage Press because it was Night Sister magic. So is he a creation of the Night Sisters, or is he some dead person brought back to life by Night Sister magic, and this is the magic leaving the body? I don't know. But if he's made of smoke, why did he have eyes in that? Remember at the beginning I got that screenshot, or was that just a mistake, or is it just me reading too much into it? I don't know. Anyway, so Sabine says, go deal with the stuff. I've got this. I can handle Shin Hati. So they continue fighting. Ahsoka heads towards the henge. Morgan's taking the shuttle back up to the ring ship. I will prepare for our departure. It just reminded me of Vader. She said that very Vaderishly. So they're going off, leaving Baylan Skoll by himself, guarding the map as the hyperspace coordinates continue to be calculated. There, Ahsoka arrives and she goes in, and Baylan says, Anakin, Anakin spoke very highly of you. And then she said, well, he never mentioned you. Psych. But it says, everybody at the, in the order knew of Anakin Skywalker, and there you go. She says he's ambitious. He's there to secure the future. She says ambitious, which is a Sith thing, into ambition. But he's saying, for a better future, you've got to. Sometimes you have to destroy, in order to create. That's his logic. It's not totally evil, but not good either, is it? He's obviously somewhere in between. But obviously they're going to fight. So she ignites her lightsaber first. You see this quite a lot, don't you? Not only in you saw it in the original trilogy as well. The main thing that Yoda said to Luke, or one of the first things was, a Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack. Quite often, he even saw it with Luke. I know he was supposed to be, reckless and stuff a little bit, wasn't he? But you see, you often see Jedi attacking rather than defend, rather than letting their foe attack them first and deal with them that way. You often see them going on the attack first. I think just as she does here, because Baylan's playing it very calm. I don't think he wants to fight her. but is being forced to, and then off they go. They're playing it, cautiously, little and matching stances and stuff like that. Right, she's arrived on the ring ship. There we go. The hyperspace coordinates are being calculated. They're still fighting away. There you go. She's and basically Ahsoka's losing. She's not as powerful as Bale and Skull. Is getting the upper hand a bit. There we see they're still at it. She's still holding her own, but then Shin Hati uses the Force and pushes Sabine down, and then Sabine puts her hand out like that, and Shin flinches, thinking the Force is going to get her, but nothing happens. And then she says to her, "You have no powers." And then in a cool bit, she's holding her hand as though she's going to try and use the Force, but it's a bit of a bluff. You have no powers. By the way, have you noticed? It's been pointed out before. She's got a Padawan braid. You can't see it from my head. We can just see it there. She's got a Padawan braid. So just to show that they're not Sith. Anyway, says there you go. You have no power. There you go. But it's a bluff because she does this. Remember, the Mandalorian's got I forgot what they call them now. Little like firefly. I don't know what they call them. Little rockets in their gauntlets. There we go. Shoots at her. Look. Pew, 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 pew. Knocks her lightsaber out of her hand. And then one-ups her, but not for long. So they're still fighting. But then Ahsoka managed to grabs the map ball thing, and it starts burning her hand. I don't know why. Maybe it's the Night Sister magic. I don't know. It doesn't really say. I mean, is it just a hologram? I don't know. Is it some sort of force field that's generating this that burns? I don't know, but it burns her hand and hurts her. There's a Sabine still pointing her gauntlet, whatever it is. I don't know what they call it. At Shin Hati, but Shin Hati use like a smoke bomb or something as a distraction in a minute. And because Ahsoka's picked up the ball, all the hologram and stuff disappears, and it stops transmitting the coordinates. So she stopped them for the time being. Shin Hati arrives. Obviously, she used the distraction. She dropped like a smoke bomb. I know it didn't show us, it skipped past that. And then basically runs away. So Sabine's lost her. Anyway, Shin Hati arrives here, and Ahsoka presumes that she's killed Sabine. So in anger, she grabs, uses the Force against Shin Hati and picks her up and throws her against the henge in a minute. Oh, there you go, that's where... Picks her up and throws her against the henge and knocks her down. I don't think she's dead. I don't think she is. I can't actually remember. We'll see. So her and Balin start fighting. Balin's angry now because obviously Shin Hati's his apprentice, so he's forcing Ahsoka back towards the edge of this cliff. And Ahsoka's trying to use the Force to hold him back. And anyway, then goes. Sabine appears, so she's fine. She's shooting, and he pushed Ahsoka off the edge, and like Sabine went, "Oh, Ahsoka!" He pushed her off the edge. We think Ahsoka's fallen to her death. Then he turns to Sabine and he talks her into. She's pointing a blaster at the map ball, saying, "No, don't move or I'll destroy it." And he says, "You won't destroy it," because basically he uses the Force to basically read her mind, and says, "You can use this to find Ezra and get all the answers you want, etc." And she basically falls for it. She has a dark side moment, I suppose. He's tempted her, and she gives him the ball, the map. So he puts it back. He turns off his lightsaber as well to show he doesn't want to kill her. He says, "Come with me," There we go. That's the old "Join me and we will rule the galaxy as Sabine, and he don't say that, but you know what I mean. It's a version of that, isn't it? Lots of callbacks to the original trilogy. So he gives her she gives him it back, and he puts it back in the. In a minute he'll put it back in the thing, but there you go. Sin Hattie's not dead. She's got up and she starts force choking Sabine, and Balin tells her to stop. He promised that he wouldn't harm her, so she lets her go, and they continue the calculating the hyperspace coordinates. He puts it back in, and then we go. It's all done. Hyperspace route has been established. Hayang gets through to Hera. He says they're on the planet. There you go. And there you go. Hera arrives with the 5 X-wings, and the ring ship now heading back up. Balin and Shin and Sabine they've sent a shuttle down for them, and it's about time they got transporter beams in Star Wars. They've sent a shuttle down for them, so they're heading back up to the hyperspace ring. So, and then once the coordinates are sorted out, Balin destroys the map with his lightsaber and says, "No one will be following us." So off they go to the shuttle there. The ring rises up through the clouds. It's a kind of cool shot, I must admit. But I don't know why they brought it down. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe there's interference higher up in the atmosphere, so that to come down for a clean transmission. I'm justifying it. Right, so they're heading for the ring ship, and the lock S-foils in attack position. We see there, look. So they're getting ready to fight, and they tell her that these Republic ships are in our path. There we go. And Morgan Elsbeth says, there you go, engage the hyperdrive. So what about those ships? Ignore them. So they're going to do a holdo maneuver. Is it holdo? Whatever they call it. Or you think they're going to do that. It's a similar thing, but different. So off it goes. There's the warp core engaging. And they realise that they're going to jump into hyperspace. And there we go. Off it goes. It's then there you go. Off it goes. Knocks all the ships off and destroys some of the X-wings, but not the characters that we know. The red shirts X-wing pilots die. There we go. A couple of them crash into each other like them. No, not the Rhodian. Anyway, so basically it looks like there's there's 2 in there. There's the Ghost, there's Carson, and another one. But I think 3 of them have been destroyed. So they've gone, and young Jason says, "I've got a bad feeling about this." Well, they don't say about this, he says, "I've got a bad feeling." And yeah. And Hayang's trying to get through to he tries to get through to Sabine, but obviously she's not there. She's on the way to another galaxy now. He tries to get through to Ahsoka, but we don't know where she is. And then we go back at the henge, and then we look down the cliff where she fell. So obviously she's not there, is she? But then we see her, and she's in some. It's like the World Between Worlds that we saw in Rebels, but slightly different, but the same. But it's live action. And so she stands up, and there she is. It's like the Force Netherworld sort of thing, isn't it? I think that's what they're trying to say here. Then she hears a voice saying, "Hello, Snips," or whatever. Remember, Snips is what Anakin used to call her, because she was snippy when she was younger. And she turns around, and there he is a young Anakin Skywalker, like we've seen from the prequel trilogy. And he says, "I didn't expect to see you here so soon." So I'm guessing, is this supposed to be, as I said, where Force users go when they're like Force heaven sort of thing, like the netherworld of the Force? Because he's obviously not a Force ghost, is he? Because he ain't got the glow around him. But being in the Force netherworld already, maybe he wouldn't have the glow around him. So is she dead, basically? Is she dead and become one with the Force? I don't know. Or is it an illusion? Is she just like near death on Cetos, on a rock somewhere, or floating in the sea? having some, out-of-body experience or whatever. We don't know, but there we go. There we see him looking kind of uncanny valley. It's not bad, but there's something. It's a bit off, isn't it? And I think the Heavy Spoilers have suggested they've just used a shot of Anakin from, I think, I can't remember which one. Maybe Attack of the Clones. I can't remember. One of the it'll have been it won't have been Attack of the Clones. It'll have been Revenge of the Sith, won't it, with his hair like that. There was a scene with him and Padme, and he's like leaning against a wall, smiling at her, and it's almost identical, apart from they've changed the eyes a bit. He's looking in a different direction. So they've just used that, it seems, and fiddled with it slightly. But he's there smiling at her, and then the episode ends, and we all go, "Oh God!" There we go. Vader theme plays as it ends on that. So is all not what it seems? I don't know. And then we get to the end credits, which is cool. I'm still not sure what to make of this. It's showing like hyperspace routes, isn't it, and going to all different planets. But we start off with just one, just moving about, and then we end up with 4, don't we? Then we see the Purgil. There we go. Several, not 4. There's more, isn't there? There's 1, 2, I don't know. Several. There you go. Several lines converge on this one planet, and I don't know, what does that say? Does anybody know what that says? That it's some sort of runes, isn't it? It's not Arabish, so I don't know. Does anybody know what that says? Dathomir, is that what it says? Don't know. I don't know. Coruscant. I don't know what it says. But I'm sure somebody does. Somebody knows what it says. Anyway, so that's the end of episode 4. So we've got to wait now next week and see what happens with Anakin. Is it Anakin? Is it... let's go back again. There he is. Is it him? Don't know. Is it a trick? Is it Vader? I don't know. Or is Anakin a good Force? Well, yeah, because at the end of Return of the Jedi, he became a Force ghost, didn't he? Became good again, didn't he? So, is it that Anakin? Is it or is it a trick, or is it an illusion, or is it all in her head? Don't know. Or is he Anakin from the past? Because we've seen in the world between worlds that basically time travel. You can exist in all times at once, can't you? So you can use it to explore different pasts or different versions of the past, different timelines. So is he Anakin from another timeline? I don't know. I suppose all will be revealed next week. So it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. It was good. Some of the dialogue was a little bit stilted earlier on, but later on, as we got fighting and stuff and there were less dialogue, it got better. So I enjoyed it. So I think I'd give this episode 8 out of 10. I think I give the first 2 episodes 8, didn't I? And this is, in my opinion, it's same-ish as the first 2 episodes, which I did enjoy. So 8 out of 10 is a good score. I give last week's episode 3 a 6, didn't I? I didn't like that one very much. But this one were okay. It were okay. I'm looking forward to see what happens next. That's the main thing, innit? That's the main thing. I want to see what happens next, and I'm fed up we've got to wait a week. God damn episodic television. It makes me sick. Anyway, so that's it. That's episode 4, Fallen Jedi. They're on the way to another galaxy in the ring ship. Oh, yes, I was going to mention that, didn't I? So maybe when they get to this other galaxy, Thrawn will be there in his... Does he have a Star Destroyer or something? I can't remember. I can't remember what happened at the end of Rebels. I think he had a big Star Destroyer, didn't he? I could be wrong. So maybe he's there with that. I assume it's got a name. Is it something, the Eclipse or something? That rings a bell. Anyway, whatever. So are they going to use this big ring to bring that Star Destroyer back to our galaxy? Don't know. Are they going to stay in that other galaxy and continue having adventures over there? Some have suggested that, haven't they? That they're going to move to another galaxy and have Star Wars adventures in another galaxy. I don't think so. I think they're going to bring him back to us. But I don't think it'll be straight away. I think first off we're going to have some goings on with Anakin and Ahsoka now for maybe an episode or 2. How many episodes is left? 5, 6, so it's 4 episodes. We're halfway through, aren't we now? So I think we'll have a side quest now with Ahsoka and Anakin. We'll see what happens. Right, so Right, we'll leave it there. As I said, I enjoyed it. 8 out of 10 from me. It's probably going to be another divisive episode where there'll be people saying they hate it and for whatever reason. But I thought it was fine. Didn't blow me socks off. But, I enjoyed it. Right, so we'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching, wherever you are. Look after each other, and until next time, I'll see thee.